I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. I'm just going to continue to let people in through the waiting room. Find yourself a comfortable seat, and I am going to turn it over to Jessica Zambri.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica. I'm so happy to be with you today. And I am a meditation teacher with Studio B. And today I just wanted to, we have about 15 minutes together, so I just want to be mindful of that time. But the topic that we wanted to bring in today was, what is mindfulness? And this is something that I could talk about for hours and hours with you. But just to sort of jump in, the way that I'm understanding mindfulness, well, first, inside of this teaching, I trained inside of the insight meditation tradition. So this is something that came out of Southeast Asia thousands of years ago. And so the word sati in the Pali language from that tradition, the language of that time, it sort of means, it means mindfulness, and in the way of remembering or recollecting the truth. So something like seeing things clearly as they are. And so there's this discerning quality of awareness. It's not just bare awareness, as I'm understanding it. There's this knowing, this discerning quality. And I don't know about you, but whenever I'm being discerning, I'm usually not so much forcing my awareness or rushing or having a tight grip. It's a little bit more like, okay, relaxed and kind. The attention is a little bit more curious and open-minded. So some of these qualities come into play when there's this sort of presence invoked and established. So I sort of think of mindfulness as this curious, kind attention. And the practice in meditation, it's just a practice to establish this way of being, really. And I know that you all came from, or perhaps most of you did, from a sales meeting. And this is great because when I think of mindfulness, yes, there's this way that we can practice using meditation to set aside time in our day to come into a practice of seeing things clearly over and over again, maybe trying to create some stillness in our lives. But we could also sprinkle this practice throughout the day. And I wanted to bring a practice in where you can maybe experiment with that. So maybe that is just sitting, like we'll share here, or maybe it's in the middle of a meeting. So I'll start talking about what we'll do together so you know what I'm talking about. It's an acronym and it's called STOP. So in this practice, the S stands for stop. So you just literally stop whatever you're doing. Now, if you're in a meeting, you're not going to just, ignore, but you're just going to almost think of it as like a pause. The T stands for take a breath or more. The O stands for observe. And the way that I think about observing, I just tap into whatever of the five senses are accessible in that moment. So maybe in that moment, you're observing with sight, if that's accessible for you. Or maybe there's a scent in the air, and so on. And then the P stands for proceed. And I like to put in parentheses, almost mentally think of it with care. So again, there's that discerning quality, like you're knowing what's happening when it's happening, because there's this mindfulness being established. You're pausing and you're setting aside just that moment. It could be a few seconds to just be with what's here with that curious sense, like, oh, what's happening right now? And there's like that friendliness, that kindness there. It's not like, what's happening? I need to know. It's more like, oh, what's happening? So this is a little bit of the context around the practice. And if you want, we can try right now. We could establish mindfulness together. Does that sound okay? Thumbs up. Nods, cool. Okay. All right. So we can begin by just finding a position that feels supportive and comfortable. So maybe if you're sitting down in a chair, you, if you'd like, you can stand. And if you have access, you can even lie down. Yeah. So just take a moment to find that space that feels comfortable and meet the body just where the body is right now. What does the body need? What would feel comfortable? And if you need to adjust this posture throughout the practice, just please feel free to do so. And remembering that whatever I'm guiding here is just a suggestion. So just take what you'd like to take from it and leave what you don't. And if you'd like, you could practice with the eyes opened or closed. And let's begin. Let's establish mindfulness together. So let's stop right here in this moment, taking a pause. If you'd like, you can take some breaths in and out deliberately. You can even follow the breath if that feels comfortable, just naming again. Inhale in, exhale out. And not forcing this. If the breath is not so easy to follow, just that naming is enough, just knowing that you're breathing. You can even imagine breath nourishing the body on an inhale, and on an exhale, this breath nourishing the environment around you. So, as we establish this discerning, open, curious quality of mind, there's also a sense of generosity present. This air, this breath that we're sharing together in this shared space of practice. And now, just gently in your own time, coming into the O, observing. So, just beginning to tune into what senses are showing up naturally for you. Maybe there's a sense of sight if the eyes are open, just getting a sense of where you are, knowing that seeing is happening. Could also get that same sense with the eyes closed, any visuals that appear there. Maybe there are sounds coming in and out of the environment. Maybe there's a felt sense of the body, just the body sitting, the weight of this body, the density, the solid nature. You may even notice a taste in the mouth. Really taking your time. What is it that tells you you're present right now? Not needing to have an answer to that question, just the inquiry is enough. It's a way to establish again this sense of mindfulness, this quality of presence that's kind, open, curious, discerning. And these senses may give you information like, oh, thinking is also happening, or there might be an emotion present. So, again, you're just meeting whatever comes up moment by moment with some kindness, being present like you would for someone you really care about. knowing that at any point, as you're practicing with with the senses, observing, just listening, what might be needed. There's no need to force any of this. Could always, again, adjust your posture if that's needed, open the eyes if they've been closed. Just check in and gently come into this P, the proceed, this invitation now to proceed with care. What might be needed for you right now? And for the last few moments of the meditation, I'll invite you to just bring the attention once more, if you'd like, to the posture, getting a sense of, okay, maybe the body's sitting, standing, wherever you are, knowing that. And then gently continue with this, the P and stop, proceed gently and with care, connecting to the environment around you. Maybe bringing in a sense of movement or stretch if the body wants to be stretched. Maybe looking around if that's accessible for you, just knowing where you are. Take your time with this, there's no need to rush. Listening to what might be needed for you in this moment. And so I want to thank everyone for trying this out with me. And I really bring this in just as a way to know that this is a practice that, yes, you can do if you set aside time in your day. And you can also integrate it in just living, right? So in whatever you're doing, listening, speaking, just stopping, pausing, and getting in touch with what it's like to be present, using the senses that are accessible moment by moment. And this practice has helped me remember that there's always a chance to get in touch with what's here and see things clearly. Um, yeah.